This is the Bush Whisperer coming at you from the most beautiful penguin sanctuary, southern tip of Africa, Cape Town, Builders Beach, Simonstown. Inauthentic people. How do we deal with inauthentic people? People that are behaving in a shallow manner, people that are being fake, people that are being disingenuous, people that are possibly lying but not out to deceive, people that are lying to themselves. To understand what inauthenticity is to understand what fear is. People are afraid of being seen when they are afraid of seeing themselves. And when people are afraid of seeing themselves, they're afraid of being themselves. And they're afraid of others seeing them as themselves, and afraid of others witnessing them being themselves. And so people often, and this is all of us, feel the need to be something more than what we are, because we feel that we're not enough. So to realize that all of this inauthenticity, fakeness, shallowness that you can witness in other people, that it is really stemming from a deep sense of insecurity, should be a helpful hint for one to become aware of what it is. And therein is also the cure for what to do, how to face it, how to move through this situation. This recognition that insecurity is the source of all of the fakeness that we can witness in another will bring the recognition that we also have a certain aspect of fakeness or inauthenticity. The problem is we can't always see it in ourselves. We can easily, Joshua, don't break the plants, okay? And don't make me talk to you again. I will take action. Do you understand me? I'm busy doing my video. Thank you, my sweetheart. I had to remind my son that we're in a nature reserve and we can get into a lot of trouble if he breaks a leaf of a tree, funny as that sounds. But respect is the key. Whenever there's inauthenticity, it comes from a sense of insecurity. Now, normally other people would be too insecure to admonish their son while they're doing a YouTube video. Because what are other people going to think? It's very important to face your fears. It's very important to be able to be very honest with yourself. Recognize your own insecurities. Recognize your own fallibility. And be true to yourself. Be the same you in front of other people that you would be when you're on your own. It's difficult to do that. It sounds like such a simple thing, but when we're really honest with ourselves, it's not that easy. Because the mind creates pictures, images of what we should be, how we should be behaving, expectations of the self. It's a vicious drama we create in our head for ourselves. To realize that we ourselves have insecurities, to recognize that that insecurity is very likely causing us to become inauthentic. Because inauthenticity moves with insecurity. It's the blanket that covers the cold that insecurity creates within one's heart. And I believe that the two are interwoven. So when you start to consider the inauthenticity in others, become aware of the insecurity within yourself. Why do you feel insecure about other people being inauthentic? Is it triggering something within the self? Is there a mirror at play here? Is life a series of mirrors showing us who we are through the people we meet along the way? Do we feel afraid of our own insecurities? Afraid of the recognition? Is it easier to point fingers at others? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. When we start to recognize our own insecurities as being the source of our own inauthenticity, we will recognize that in another. And then instead of judging other people, looking down on them, or feeling bad towards them, we will be able to feel compassion. We will feel a sense of empathy and a sense of care. And we would want more than anything else to help that person to bring the authenticity into being. We would want to be supportive. We wouldn't want to criticize people so much. We'd rather bring people into a state of positive awareness about themselves. Rather bring somebody up than bring somebody down. Whenever you find yourself wanting to dethrone someone, realize there's an aspect of inauthenticity at work there, based on the repression or the suppression of one's own insecurity. Whenever one wants to dress someone else down or give someone a harsh critique, and sometimes we do this, sometimes we need to do this in life, though one needs to watch how one feels. If I see somebody bullying somebody else, I'm going to give them some critique. Though how you give them that critique is the key. Is the critique coming from a place of compassion? Is it coming from a place of truth? Real truth, which is the heart? Real authenticity? Or is it an apparent authenticity? Self-righteousness? A pervasive sense of superiority? It's very easy to confuse the two. From a shamanic perspective, humility is the key. To bow to nature, to get upon one's knees and observe the ground beneath one's feet, and to humble oneself to the point that one is no greater than a mouse or an ant or a germ, and to recognize that the germs and the mice and the ants and all of these little creatures and the bugs are all as much of a value to this universe as what we are, is to bring oneself to the ground zero. And this is a shamanic sense. So the shaman practice a very profound form of humility. And this humility opens you to the knowledge, the inner knowledge of the life forms around you and of yourself, so that you're able to reach deep into your authenticity and find what is really going through your consciousness. And the guides become the revealing force through which this is manifest. It's very important for us to be able to grasp this. It's fundamental for us to be able to get a handle on how this works, because in life we can get lost if we're not paying attention. So pay attention to yourself, like and share this video so that others can pay attention to this, so that others can also gain the insight of how to overcome one's insecurities by observing those people around us and the insecurities from which they react, and using it as a medicine to look back into ourselves, causing a double feedback loop of consciousness. And that way you'll find that you'll become less judgmental towards other people, and you'll be able to tolerate people being inauthentic, because you'll recognize it's your own inauthenticity that you're seeing, in a sense. At least the reaction to it is. Also, don't forget, never forget that we all get scared. And don't blame others for their fears. Subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. Keep it real, keep it sweet, and keep that journey going towards the inner heart so that you can find your own authenticity. This is the Bush Whisperer.